All right, now we're gonna make some quarter square triangles. So I start with two half square triangles that I have not trimmed. I want all my trimming to be left for when I get done. So I'm going to use this pen so you can see it. By all means, use a true fabric marking utensil when you do this yourself. And I'm going to draw a diagonal line going the opposite direction as my seam. And then I'm going to nest these together. And I will check to make sure that my unit looks right before I go sew. And I'm just going to sew 1/4 of an inch on either side of that line. All right, so I've sewn on either side of that line. And now we just cut on the line that we drew. And we have an hourglass unit or a quarter square triangle. I'm going to spin the seam. So to do that, I'm just going to come up here and pop that open and go press it that way. And I'll show you one more time. Spinning seams is super easy. We just pop, get the lint off of our block. We just pop those stitches. And sometimes they're a little harder than others. There we go. And that just helps our block lay flatter. And I'll be back to show you how to trim it up. All right, so I have them pressed, and these need to be trimmed to 2.5. And I have my ruler, and I'm going to look for the 1 1/4 line right here because that is half of 2.5. And so 1 1/4, 1 1/4 is going to meet right there, and that's what I'm going to put right in the center of my block. And I'm going to make sure that my diagonal line on my ruler lines up with the diagonal line on my diagonal seam, and I'm going to make sure everything is within 2.5, and it is. So I'm going to trim 2 sides. Turn it around, and it looks a little funky. It's okay. We're going to fix that with this trim. So I'm carefully lining up that 2.5 all the way around. And there is my hourglass unit. Now, you may not have as much to trim around if you had to trim up your half square triangle a little bit because it was wonky. Mine wasn't too bad, so I didn't trim it. And now I have an hourglass unit. And I'll just do the same thing to the other one. And there's our other hourglass unit. Thanks for watching, everyone.